I'm really excited to have you on the podcast because I'm known in my industry as sort of a transformational physician, which has in the years that I've done this has been kind of controversial. I think with what you do in fitness and health and in coaching, the word transformational is very powerful and impactful. Transformational in surgery is sometimes seen as a bad thing. And so I wanted to bring you on because I know you as like the elite Hollywood trainer. You show pictures of amazing results with your clients. You have a great relationship with them, and you do things that are different, unique in your field. So tell everybody who you are, what you do, and let's kind of get into how you've gotten to where you are now.
This is amazing. Thank you so much for that amazing introduction.
You're welcome.
My name is Axel. I'm a mindset and body transformation coach. The question was, how did I get into this? Well, I always loved good physiques. It started with me just admiring. And then one day I thought, okay, I want it for myself.
Now, did you have a good physique or no?
I was normal.
Okay.
Normal. And didn't play sports when I was younger, a little bit of football. But really, it was never really the athlete type whatsoever.
Yeah. Okay.
And then I just had the vision in my head. I was like, this is something that I can have for myself. And I literally made my dad pay me a gym membership. And then slowly and surely, my body starts transforming.
I love that.
This was back in Norway when I was 15.
So you were motivated at a young age to look your best and feel your best. You were just admiring other people's bodies and you wanted to look that way? Or what was it that stimulated you to want to like actually start to exercise? Because exercise looking a certain way and exercising to become that look is difficult for some people. So how did you get the motivation to actually start to work out?
This is a very good question. How my mind works is that if I desire something, I'm going to have it.
I love that. So you get determined.
Yes.
And you don't let go.
No. I become obsessed with the idea that is mine, and somehow I'm going to make it work. And back then, I didn't really know that much. I remember I would Google how to get a six-pack, and I got just some random blog that would say, eat less and work out.
Yeah, it was
weights.
nothing.
Right. So slowly and surely, I just started throwing myself toward that direction.
And that's great.
And then I had some coaches during the years.
Yeah.
And then my peak was in 2013, when I broke up with someone, and that really changed it for me. That was like my peak.
That happened to me actually about 3 years ago. I was engaged and I looked good, but when I'm 44, when you get to like 40, it's a lot harder to be able to maintain looking good. And I didn't realize until this year when I look back that, I was a little puffy. It wasn't that defined. I probably didn't feel as good because that person demotivated me. I would want to go do things early, get things done. They would make me kind of sleep in or eat a certain way. There was less of that motivation from another person saying, yeah, let's go do that, or let's do it together so that you could, make a change. So then when I had that breakup, I said, I'm going to get up at 5 a.m. every day, start adding cardio, do this working out, and everything changed. I also started peptide therapies, which I'll talk to you about in a little bit, and doing some hormonal optimization and the right type of food, but it was all encompassing. So when you had this breakup, what happened before and after?
What happened before and after? It was just a lot of energy. I was just so determined that this was something I was going to get, regardless.
What was it that you wanted to achieve?
I just wanted to look my best. I always had, to that point, I had a nice body, but it was never really shredded to the gods.
And now you want to be shredded like a god.
Back then, yes. I still am. Yes.
No, you look good. I'm sure people are going to love it. I mean, I actually want to get you to use one of my supplements that just came out. It's called VitaSculpt.
Oh, interesting.
It's really interesting because it has 3 different supplements in them that do activate certain metabolic processes in your body, but not by increasing your heart rate, not by increasing temperature of your body. So most things that burn fat, they're thermogenic. So they increase your heart rate, or they can cause like issues like, drink these energy drinks and they can cause your heart rate to race or have, turn red. Like I even get like, if I drink a little bit of C4, my entire face flushes, that niacin that's in there.
It's so bad.
So with that said though, we developed a product that uses a peptide called AOD that it takes fats and metabolizes them more quickly. It also takes your sugars and doesn't allow it to affect your insulin, so that you don't get the food that you eat going in turning into fat. There's a peptide in called BPC that helps gut inflammation, joint inflammation, and muscle inflammation. So you already produce it in your body, but by adding a little bit more, you get a little bit more out of it, and so it helps you recover actively. And then there's another fatty acid in it that helps your brain function, give you a little more focus. It helps nerves. So all this sort of active recovery, inflammation, fat reduction, it's all in there. And so these are the things I feel like, when somebody wants to look their best, but you have to like be perfect with the diet, or you have to do that extra amount of cardio, this helps a little bit. But also like clients, because with you, you're like the transformational coach. That's your name. Well, I want to know how you came up with that. So your clients need to see these results fast, and obviously if they don't, they might not think it was you. Maybe it's them because they're not eating right or working out the right way. So you could, put it down on them. But these things help, I think, influence people to see those results more quickly, and then they become more dedicated to it. So how did you get into, wanting to look ripped to the gods, and then all of a sudden now you want your patients to be that way, or your clients to look that way?
So, I spent so many years failing or trying, failing, moving forward, having setbacks, and it was just very exhausting with all the ups and downs. And as you know, stress is literally poison for all of us. It's literally our death and what causes aging and all of that, which I'm not about. I hope everyone heard that.
I don't think anyone
I don't
is.
I don't believe in aging. So my point
That's
is
good.
that, yeah. So for me, my point with this was I want to help people to get there way faster and get sustainable results without doing years of trying and failing. And that's what I provide my clients. It's a blueprint for success. It's not just a workout. They tell me exactly what they want. Some people want 3 more inches on their ass or their bicep, whatever it is. And I made a plan exactly towards that. Everything is measurable.
And you hold them accountable.
Yes.
Because what I find is, you just said blueprint, which is the name of my actual podcast. And the reason we said that was because
Alignment.
What?
Alignment.
I know. I was gonna say, wow, that's gonna be your commercial right there. So the reason that I brought that up was, most people's blueprint for success includes a lot of failures. And the majority of the entrepreneurs that I've seen, or people that have successful brands or building something that others relate to in a community, your clients, for example, they want to go to you because you've achieved what they see as a success, or that they feel you can help them. But that's because you failed so many times, and so same thing for me. People come to me. I'm an investor in businesses and I give direction. It's funny, I had a call last night actually with one of my businesses, the owners, and turns out they had someone in the business that stole money from them.
Wow.
And they just found out that it was about $100,000 over the past few months. Now, when I first invested in the business, I said, look, this is what you need to do, because this is going to happen to you at some point unless you do X, Y, and Z. And
Right.
they didn't do that. And I told you, how did I know that something that could happen was because it happened to me. Right. So we've already been through, and he's like, I know, but I've learned now, at least it was something small compared to much worse, or in my industry, it could be death. Someone could die if there was a mistake. So obviously you got to be, at the best of your game. But in yours, for example, this is more tribulations that you've had on yourself, and you have led you to now have this blueprint, which is what I'm doing here with my entrepreneurs, to talk about my experiences and how to become successful socially, in business and consumer and stuff like that, but also showing your blueprints to everybody else. So for example, what are those things, those failures that you think resonate then with your clients?
So I think for me, one of the biggest things that it wasn't always that I had a plan. I was kind of working out and just doing so much, and I was just so tapped into the doership rather than actually listening to the body, because you need to have a balance of both.
Oh yes.
And if you
that's
don't,
why I want to talk to you about the mind part. We'll talk about that in a minute.
it's
But
really
keep going. I
exciting.
can't wait to hear it.
I'm gonna say right now, mindset is everything, everyone. Everything.
I believe it.
And back then, I had the idea in my head, but I didn't have a certain structure on how to get there, which led to mental fatigue, because I could never calm down my nervous system because I never knew where I was going. And it was just a lot of stress and anxiety.
Yeah.
And it led to me not being able to enjoy my body, even though I looked freaking amazing, but I wasn't really able to enjoy it.
What was it that you were feeling? Was it that you didn't think you looked good, so that it also caused some mental stress or depression type of things? Or was it, explain to me, what was it that you saw? Because I feel like a lot of people go through that, especially around here where looks are kind of regarded as very important, whether it's someone's career. You have that for your career, for example. If you didn't look good all the time, people might not want to go to you. So what was it that made you feel like you weren't at the peak, or that you looked great?
Honestly, it was just self-sabotaging.
I think a lot of people self-sabotage.
That inner talk that was not filled with love. It was always looking for something or the next thing, instead of actually having gratitude for where you are and striving for excellence from a place of love.
Yeah. And that's important because my fiance always says to me, I need you to take a step back today and think about all the amazing things you have. Look around, look at this. Like I'm sitting here on a patio with hummingbirds right now. Who would have thought that when I had nothing growing up and coming here with literally nothing? I moved here in 2014 with a car that over 100,000 miles. My currently 18-year-old dog, who wasn't at that age then, and almost basically a lot of debt. Wow. You know, to be able to develop something like this, sometimes you miss it. You miss it because you're always constantly looking to do better. It's never good enough. You know, with this day and age, especially with digital media, you're always scrolling, looking for something new. There's so much data, so much information being presented to you, and opportunity that you sometimes don't even think of the amazing things that you already have accomplished. Right. So you were self-sabotaging a little bit, which I think a lot of people do. And how did that restrict you?
I just couldn't enjoy it. Literally, I had the six-pack, amazing legs, great ass, great chest, everything, and I was just miserable. I couldn't even look at the mirror, honestly.
Oh wow! So it was a lot of but did people tell you that you looked really good?
Yeah, but I wouldn't really believe it.
Yeah,
which is the cosmic joke. You know, and it's because, again, I didn't have a structure where I would be like, okay, if I'm doing this, this will get me there. Mm-hmm. My brain never really got to relax at all. It was always like a flight or fight.
Yeah. And what was it saying to you then?
Say what?
What was it saying? What was your mind telling you then?
Hotter, better, more work, nonstop.
And don't you think that's very dangerous for people? Because people are always looking for something more, you know, and that's, I think also even in relationships, it's hard for people to even be in a relationship if they're always thinking like that. They can never appreciate what they have. Mm-hmm. And then by the time they think they're going to find that, they can't. Right. And that's the catch-22 is you'll never find it because there's always something else.
And, you know, it's very interesting that you said that, because I think what really changed everything for me was gratitude.
Tell me about this.
Literally.
I want to hear about this because I think gratitude is so important, and in business too, because this is going to be, if you had self-gratitude or gratitude towards others, which I'll see what you have to say, it allows you a lot of growth. So tell me what you meant by that.
Okay, so let's start with that. Gratitude is the highest frequency there is, period. You can tell on someone the aura, their energy, if they're grateful, you can just feel it. It just feels so nice, and it's just so welcoming. So it's like a magnet. Yeah. It's like a universal magnet. And I learned that the universe or whatever is out there rewards that type of behavior. Literally.
I mean, I hope it comes back that way. That's what I feel it does.
It does.
I feel it does.
So the more you're able to be grateful for something and count your blessings and just treasure that, you're going to get more, rather than thinking of lack or control or attachment.
I need everybody to learn this right now.
Lack, control, and attachment will be your downfall.
That's exactly, I 100% agree. But also, you need to spread gratitude. Because, like, for example, I was in New York. I go every 2 months to my office. Mm-hmm. And I always go right when I get there to get a slice of pizza. Because the pizza
Which
there...
one?
Usually, well, it depends. But if we're right by the hotel, I usually get, not Joe's, what is the one that's the big one? Ray's.
Okay.
So I usually go and get Ray's because, you know, they're the big triangles or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I go in there this last time with actually my fiance, and there's this homeless guy that walks in He's looking at the pizza and he starts talking and everything. And like the guys in the back are like yelling at him to get out of the line. And you could tell all he really wanted was a piece of pizza. So I go, dude, come over here. Come over here. I go, you could pick two. And they're like the manager comes out and starts screaming at him to get out.
Wow.
And I was like, wait a second, I will buy him the 2 pieces of pizza. And he's like, no, he comes over here and bothers people all the time. I was like, he's just hungry. Like, just give him some pizza, you know? So I bought him 2 pieces of pizza. But the funny thing is everybody else around scurried, you know? And literally the guy, the second he got that, was a totally different person. So nice, so appreciative, complimented this woman's coat, was like a nice person, and he's like, left. He just left. He didn't cause a problem. Now, obviously, I'm not going to say everyone can always just give free food out all the time, but you could tell that person was in need. And what's $5 to everybody else that was in there? There was at least 20 people, and they could have done that. So even my fiance was like, why did you do that? And I was like, because I remember a time when I didn't have anything, and if you give back, at some point it'll come back to me. Maybe it's more than $5, or maybe it's I need something and someone's there for me, you know. But I feel like the world nowadays always expects people to give to them rather than them giving back. And I feel like that's an issue, you know, for society. What do you think?
Well, I think that was beautiful. You know,
Thank you.
Sharing about your story.
I told him to get more. He only wanted the 2 pieces of pizza. I said, you want to drink
Whatever
it?
you want.
Whatever you want. I would have given it to me. He only wanted the 2.
You know, and I can completely relate to you because I have been in places where I didn't have food either. And it's not a glamorous moment.
No.
Like, for instance, I came to LA with 2 suitcases.
Wow.
That's it. I moved from Norway. And
how did you decide to move here?
So back then, I started my studies. I was like, I'm going to go to LA, but I'm going to be focused on something. I have an intention. Sold everything, quit my job.
Oh, wow.
And then took all my savings and moved here.
Amazing.
So,
and then what was your goal when you got here?
Finished that degree. So.
And did you?
Yes.
Oh, wow. And what was the degree?
This was in graphic design.
Oh, wow.
I finished one in marketing and branding.
Oh, so that's why you're Instagram. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yes, I'm a businessman.
Has been successful. He's an entrepreneur, you guys. This is the blueprint right here. The grind is the blueprint, okay? That's the key. No, I think that's great because I think you do have to have a brand. In this day and age, you have to be willing to hustle, network, promote yourself, and be confident, but not be so confident that it makes you look bad. You know, you have to draw in people that kind of vibe with you, you know? And that's why I think that your presence that has that comforting sort of nature would bring in a lot of clients, you know? And that's actually one of the questions I had written here was, you know, you have this online brand that's, I think, more of a real business. You know, it's like it can, and maybe I need to know, is it? Because I feel like your brand can be. You're all about gratitude, appreciation to everybody and your body, and that's how you get these transformations, right? So, explain to me how you built that.
So if we go back to what I was saying earlier about my past and my relationship to my body and fitness, I saw that this was a trend that was not only me. And I could just tell that other people were not able to be present and enjoy themselves because of the same thing. So through a lot of healing, and we're going to talk about that later too, I started doing sound baths, and that's when I started peeling off all these layers and everything just came down for me.
Tell everybody what a sound bath is.
A sound bath or a sound meditation is you create a setting where you have crystal singing bowls, gongs, chimes, and what it does is that the vibration of these instruments put you in a deep meditative state. Now, when you're in this state, your subconscious comes out. So whatever you're carrying, if it's stress, anxiety, whatever it is, it just comes out.
And how does it come out?
It can come in different ways.
Is it a dream? Is it like all of a sudden people start screaming during the sound bath? What is it?
So it's...
What do they do? Do they get naked and run around? Like, I need to know.
Okay, so
because I've never done a sound bath.
Oh my God, you have... Okay,
so maybe we need to do it. No, maybe we need to do this for a session, for a taping.
Yes.
Because I want to do that
Jason,
also in my office.
This will all open up your world. Like, it's life-changing. It's incredible. So what
Oh,
happens is
wow.
that you're laying down there and it's almost like you become hypnotized by the sounds.
Oh, wow.
And you just feel like it's almost like an out of body experience. And whatever, again, is running through your mind, it's almost like you see it through a clear
So all
movie.
these weights get released,
Mhm.
and it could be internal, it could be mental, or
All of
whatever.
it.
So when people do these sound baths, are there people that don't respond?
So some people take naps. Some people go to heaven and come
Higher
back.
level.
Other people, yeah. If you're spiritual, like you're in for a good treat.
Oh, wow.
Also, some people feel that pain that they've been carrying. They're able to release it. Some people cry. Some people
Oh,
just
wow.
lay there and just breathe. So it's very individual.
And how often is this done?
I do them weekly, once a week.
Okay. And you do this as a group?
Yes.
Okay.
And I've been seeing huge transformations.
And are these for your clients specifically, or is this you do this online and you bring people in for it?
both.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Well, that's very cool because I would love to. I'd love to learn more about that because the majority of people, I think nowadays, have way more stress and anxiety than they ever had years before. I mean, even my sister's kids are on pills for
Wow.
depression and anxiety at 9
old
to
are they?
11 years old.
No way.
Swear to God, this is America. And I tell people, I'm like, it just America loves to just prescribe medicines, give people psychologists, rather than having them identify the issues and become, what's the word, responsible for making changes and decisions that I think would lead them to discovery, like you're describing, whether it's the inner not having gratitude, so they're stressed out all the time, or whatever, maybe they're not treating people well because they have anxiety and that type of thing. I think all those things could change with exercise, with mental health, and maybe sound baths,
Yeah. Seriously.
you know?
I think for me, I remember when I was dealing with all the pain that I was carrying, people were telling me to go on antidepressants, and I refused. I was like, I'm
No.
not putting that shit in my body.
No,
I'm not
no.
doing it. Because what it does, I mean, I'm not bashing the whole thing, but it makes you numb.
It does.
It makes you not feel whatever your body's trying to tell you. And,
Exactly.
you know, when your body gives you these alerts of a feeling, you're not supposed to suppress it. You're supposed to approach it with curiosity and be like, okay, where is this coming from?
Yeah.
What does this mean?
So how then do you feel like, because one of my questions is like, how did you make this a real business? It sounds like a lot of what you potentially can do that's unique and different because, you know, every business, like there's a lot of trainers, but I know a lot because I work out a lot. Obviously, I'm wearing my cutoff today, trying to look good with my peptides
I'm
and
here too.
everything. Exactly, showing it off. Your biceps might be a little bit bigger than mine. I don't know. I can't tell. What do you guys think? I don't know. I was just on another podcast and they had me flex a bunch of times.
Oh my God, I love it.
But no, my question to you was,
As you
you know,
should.
yeah, exactly. There's always a uniqueness to every business that draws somebody in. So as a trainer that's helping people learn about themselves while working out and hitting their goals, are you implementing a lot of this mental health and physical mental awareness into it, what you do?
Yes.
Do you know anyone that does that?
No, I'm the only one.
See, this is like I am gonna start a course for you. I'm literally gonna start a revolution because I know your word is empowerment, right? I thought so. It's on his Instagram.
Empower.
You guys empower, and I love that because I think a lot of people need to take responsibility. I don't mean responsibility in a negative way, in a positive way for the things they want in their lives. And you know, so many people nowadays they'll sue an employer because what they say they have a toxic work environment or something. It's very common, like in the United States and in California. But yet
I've noticed.
they're not taking responsibility for the fact that if they don't like that job, just don't do it. Like you're talking about the stress and anxiety and being have the gratitude that you know what, you gave me this job, I just don't like it, and I'm gonna move on. You know, I've never once even thought to harm someone. But yet, tons of people have sued me. Tons. I mean, it's crazy. And all for very selfish reasons. And I feel like those people are not people who are empowered to be happy and to be, I don't know what the word is, like take themselves to a much higher level. They would rather just take advantage of people.
I'll tell you something, Jason. Something that I've noticed that
Tell me.
there's two types of people. Okay, you either have creators or victims.
There's a lot of that. Yeah, tell me. I want to hear this because this is
So,
really good.
so in this life, how we came to this earth is we have the birthright of abundance. Like we can have whatever we
Anything you
want.
want, just got to work for it.
You just gotta put in the work. That's it. And I think some people just like in Kardashian said once, I don't think people want to work these days.
It's true. They don't. There was a
What are,
no, go
yeah,
go go go.
I'm like,
go.
what are you putting out there that is helping to everyone? My message with what I do is that I want to heal millions and billions because this is not just a workout, it's a lifestyle
Right.
that everyone can do.
I agree. And that's how I am with my office too, because people will say, oh, plastic surgery or cosmetic treatments and stuff. But I actually take people and I give them trainers. I set them up with the right dietitians and things like that. I help them to get on, inner wellness supplements and peptides to get them to get their goals more quickly. And if they have problems that bother them, we make it improve so that when they go to you or go to the gym, they see those results, they feel empowered, they feel like they're actually seeing those results and they change their whole lives. I mean, I have people a year later that make me look so much better because I got them to start working out. I got them to start looking at food differently. I got them to, do what they needed to do to look a specific way for their goals. And
Right.
then they now are better at work. They have a better relationship. Their sex is better. Like everything about their lives is improved because they took responsibility for it. But it started out with a cosmetic treatment, which is kind of interesting. So as people see it in one way, but I feel it's life transformation. It's more of like, putting you on a pathway for something that is a new lifestyle for you, And so that's how you empower people. You tell them that this is a lifestyle.
It's a lifestyle. And the thing is that, and this is where it's so interesting because I pretty much plant the seed, but I have them visualize it. You do the actual vision and then you help them to, continue that. I plant the seed. So before they even see it, I tell them, I'm going to get you so ripped. This is written in the skies. There's no room to fail once you do this. Just follow the plan, follow exactly what I'll tell you to do, and you will get there. So it's very interesting. It's two types of, getting to the same end goal.
Yeah, that's great. And do the people...
You got to believe it before you see it.
No, I like that a lot. And that's the issue. But a lot of people don't believe it, or they don't want to take the responsibility to believe in it because they think maybe they're unable to achieve. Or honestly, some people might think it's too hard.
Jason, I'm just going to tell you, before I moved here, people were like, you're crazy. You're moving to LA. You can't make it there. It's so expensive. Blah, 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 blah. Says who?
I
Right?
know.
It's not like...
And where are you now? How long
feel
ago
amazing.
was that?
Yeah,
How
I've
long
been
ago
here
was that?
for... This was 8 years ago.
And do you feel accomplished?
I've created a community. I have my own business. I have literally healed people all over the world. And now being in LA where all the eyeballs are looking here, it's amazing.
That's incredible. And that's actually why I wanted you on, because I saw that. I've been here 10 years too. And when I moved here, I was dating somebody actually who basically told me not to move. I had a really good job. I was just out of school but every day I would go to that job and I didn't really enjoy it. And there was a date, I've talked about it before, where the wife of the practice basically was like, wouldn't let me advertise in this gay magazine. And then I realized I just wouldn't be able to be myself. And she actually said something kind of mean, but I don't think she meant it this way. She said, we don't advertise to those people. And what I think she meant was she thought she was intentionally saying that the LGBT community didn't have money. That's what she was implying. But what she didn't realize, which is right, what she didn't realize was if you don't have kids and you have a career, you probably have way more money actually than most people when they're first starting out that do have families and stuff. But what she didn't understand is we were also in San Francisco where my clients there were very rich. They were all in tech and everything. But regardless, though, I realized I just couldn't be myself. And so I left. And against what everybody told me to. And my best friend at the time said, if you feel like that's where you need to be, you need to go. And he got me a U-Haul and we went. Amazing. And I moved here on my own. I actually left my boyfriend and I moved here by myself.
Wow.
And I joined another practice. I outgrew that practice and built my own thing. And but all along the way, there was a lot of hardships. I was staying up every night answering blog questions online to get people to go to me. Like my networking at that time was, in the community too. When I would go to, I went to Equinox, I signed up even though I couldn't afford it, and I handed out my card. Now everyone has cards, but I handed out cards to everybody, and everywhere I went, I told everyone who I was, right? So I could get known well enough that people would go to me. And then it's led into more of the social media component. But
Right.
you really have to hustle a lot. You have to really network. You have to provide good services. You have to be kind and, do things, go above and beyond for people. And that may mean working late. That may mean working on a weekend. That may mean, like I have to get up really early for surgeries. That means I'm not going out the night before, But could you imagine if you see your surgeon out till 2 a.m. the night before he's supposed to work on you?
God. I'll be like, no.
There
you're
are
not
surgeons
touching
that
me.
do that here. I've seen surgeons that are drinking
No.
the night before they have surgery at 6.
That is wild.
I don't
to
even
me.
drink alcohol. When I do, it's
Can
a
you
couple
imagine just-
sips. I know it's crazy.
Let me
So
cut
that's
you
what I mean is like you have to be really disciplined. So can you talk about that? Do you tell, like, how are you? Because some trainers are rough, for discipline on their clients. Like, you need to do this. How are you when it comes to accountability with clients?
So, well, I practice what I preach. I walk the talk. I tell everyone that alcohol is your biggest downfall. It will just kill your gains.
Oh, I know. It's
first
so
of
bad
all.
for you.
So bad. And also vibrational wise, it's a downer. It just brings you down.
What are things that bring you down vibrational wise? I need to understand this.
For me?
No,
Or
just
like-
is it independent or is there globally? If you said to somebody, "Look, oh my God, you have so much stress, you have so much of all these things affecting you," what are those things?
well, drinking is one. Just go to a bar. You will just
I know
feel-
I don't even go.
Me neither.
I hate being around. I know I hate being around people. It's not that. It's not that I'm around people all day, but it's a lot. There when there's so much energy like that, it's almost like pushing you down. It's not like what you're talking about, where it's a group of people, in a sound bath. That's different because everyone's energy is helping to rise.
It's so
increase
magical.
everybody.
I cannot wait for you to
Oh,
do it.
these words that
Like,
he uses.
literally.
He's like, it's magical in the way he
Literally.
said it. We need to get this sound bath going.
Everyone, you guys, DM me and I'll get you in my sound bath.
I feel like I need a massage at the same time. Can we have a massage and sound bath? We need to do that combo.
it actually exists. So-
It does?
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay, I need this.
Anyways, so back to what we were
keep
saying.
going. I'm
So,
sorry, I'm just obsessed with this.
I
right
know, we're gonna have so much fun. I'm telling you. Okay, so for me, what I realized a lot of times when I first moved here, going to bars, it was fun because it was new. In Norway, you don't have that big of a gay community, so it was just so exciting. But then I remember just kind of taking it personal because people would not remember me the day after because they were so out of their minds doing blow and drinking and whatever.
Yeah.
And I would just be like, wait, we literally had a heart-to-heart conversation and now you can't remember me? Why did I waste my time on someone who can't even remember my name?
No, you don't want to do that. Your time is valuable. Your time is also energy from yourself.
Or time is our most valuable asset.
Yeah, I know.
will
Did you
never
ever
get it
see
back.
that movie In Time with
which was that?
Justin Timberlake? Was that called In Time? Yeah, where he has the time on his arm. Oh my God, it's probably one of the best movies I've ever seen.
Really?
So basically, it's this world in the future where your time is set on your arm and it tells you when you're gonna die.
Oh, that's freaking...
And it goes down every day based on time, but it can go way faster if you break a law or if you give time to someone else, etc. So it's about that and how even money, you'll see in the movie, even money doesn't buy you the time. It can in this movie, but realistically, you'll see In Time. That's
In
what I
Time
thought.
is-
You got to watch it because it's a very valuable movie. Actually, what I'll probably do is in this podcast, we should talk about that because I'll talk about it in a second. I'll do a review of the movie afterwards because people like my movie reviews. Actually,
Oh my God, I love that.
no, but my question is: so if time is this really valuable asset, what did you do then to pick and choose the things that were going to make you feel your best and allow you to grow?
I started thinking I need to invest my time and energy where it's going to be appreciated. If people are not pouring into my cup, I'm not feeling uplifted or just genuine connection, I don't want it.
Right.
I'd rather be alone.
That's good. I like that. But you're very confident. So
Thanks.
you were that confident. How did you develop confidence? Because you can tell moving from another country alone, saying that you have the will and the way without everybody telling you not to. I did the exact same thing at a very almost a similar time. And we both have a level of success, right? And so how did you develop that?
It's
Was
a
it
really funny
innate?
story. It's a really funny story. So back in Norway, I would teach group fitness, and I was literally so popular. This was in Oslo, and I was one of the most popular instructors. Okay, in high seasons, I would have 60 people just in one class, and then over hundreds on
Wow.
waitlist. So people would follow me everywhere
What were they following? Why?
because they love my energy
Yeah,
and
it's
they
the
just want to
energy. I
be a
could
part of
see
this
it. You could
class.
see the passion, the energy, the love. Like
Performance.
they
It was
want to
a
get to know you. They want to like relate. They want to like my favorite Soul Cycle instructor is the
yes,
same. Like literally, I go every Saturday morning on purpose because it's almost like church, even though I've never been to one. But it's my vision of what a church would be,
yes.
being Jewish.
Fitness
But
church.
yeah, it is. No, I
Yeah.
swear to God, it is. It's like it's like I want to almost record him because the quotes that he says are so powerful. It's all about empowering you, like you're talking about, and making you feel like the decision you're making have a huge impact, and that you just need to make these right decisions to move forward. Like if someone harmed you, don't look back. Like all those types of things that it just pushes you. So is that what you would do in these like fitness classes or what?
So it was just me seeing for whoever came through, and we would just create this amazing experience. You would come out drenched. It was a high
Oh my
intensity
gosh,
class, and it
that's
was all body
difficult.
weight.
Wow.
So when I would see the impact that I would have on all these people for years, I realized that I was a star.
And you wanted to do it at a higher level.
Yeah,
But how did you have that energy? You just in your mind you were just like, look, I have this passion for making others happy. And so I just want to do it because I'm the same way. Innately, I just always did stuff. I had patients that would ask me, can you do this? And I honestly didn't even really know how, but I figured it out to be able to do it for them because I could never say no to being able to help someone. Is that
Right.
like how you are?
Yes, now yes. Back then it was a little bit different because I hadn't really figured it all out.
Right.
Back then I thought it was all about me. That was the unhealed Axel. But then I realized it was just me pouring into these people's cups. And
Yeah.
when they left,
And
they
you
just
saw
felt
what
incredible.
you saw the ray of shine that was coming from them. And so then you moved and you wanted to do a similar thing here. And you know what? That's not really seen here, honestly. And I find and maybe just even this day and age, a lot of people aren't offering inspiration and energy and empowerment, let's say, to others because they want to keep it for themselves. But you seem to be giving that to everybody else, and that's what's actually made you more successful.
Thank you. I think that it's an unlimited resource. And like we talked about earlier,
Well, being nice to people is, but very few people have that. I think you need to
they need a
heal
sound
a
bath.
lot of
They
people.
need a sound bath.
I think we need to do a lot of healing. We have a
I'm
lot of
telling
healing
you,
to do.
Jason, I'm telling you, once this really pops off, I'm thinking billions.
Or no, it can be. And you know
Billions.
what? Then you give back. You use a lot of that to help people that need it because that's the key. I have a non-for-profit that we're funding this year right now. Actually, it's got some emails about it for scars and people that have been burned and scarred. And we have to do these cosmetic treatments, very expensive, and I feel bad because these lasers are hundreds of thousands of dollars. You can't charge $100 and do these treatments. So we need people out there that have the money, that need to donate, get tax deductions to do it and help these people. And a lot of it's also mental because they're very depressed. So part of it's going to be bringing people in like you and therapists. I have a life coach too that I want to bring in to help them get through whatever torment they've been through. In this case, it's physical, but sometimes for people it's emotional and long-term issues from their past.
Right.
Do people talk to you about that too?
I mean, sometimes during these sessions with the sound baths and when you start working with someone, you really get to see what triggers them and what not. For instance, sometimes people have the challenge to go to the gym, and it's not just because of they don't know what to do, but it's more like an internal state of mind. So, for instance, some people might have not confidence, or some people might procrastinate, and then it's like how you can get into each individual's head and flip that switch.
Yeah, because it's a mindset that you have to have them change. Like getting up in the morning when I first started at 5 a.m. was a little difficult for me. Just because I don't sleep a lot. I'm always up doing work. Like even last night I was up with AI. You have to see what I did. It's crazy.
I love
Developing
AI.
this brand. Oh my God. I'm like becoming the king of this right now.
I'm gonna clone
And
myself. I'm just gonna say that.
you should. I would love. We need a lot of you. Actually, I need you around here too. Just in my house, you could just tell me I look good every day. Tell me this. You get keep the motivation going. Let me tell you guys, you need to train with him because I definitely think this mindset, empowerment mindset, is huge, and it could be a big thing. And there are a lot of online sort of coaches, or not even coaches, like I don't know what the word is, like entrepreneurs that sell courses to get people determined, but it's more of a blueprint of a product, right? This is going inside, internal, and having people change how they perceive themselves and others. Because somebody that's angry or somebody that's, of the mindset of selfishness, etc., they'll sue, they'll have hostility towards others, they'll have resentment. How do you take that away from somebody? How do you get them to remove that? I think it's all mental. It's all a discussion, because like the people that would move on or not sue people or just like I don't know, learn from an experience that happened are the ones who are very confident, have a good mental state, have good energy, that don't want to be a part of that negativity,
Right.
So how do you, if a person came to you and they were like that, they're the type of person that holds grudges, that, everything is negative, the cup is half empty, not half full. How do you change their state of mind?
Okay, great question. And when a lot of people come to me, what I have them do is journaling.
Oh, wow.
Like literally write down. They get like the Axel worksheet.
People don't even do this anymore. No one writes. They have to write with a pencil.
With a pencil.
Pencils probably aren't going
And
to
paper.
exist very soon, so we might have to change this to digital pencil.
We can
But
get an
no,
iPad.
I mean,
We can get the iPad version.
so how often so journaling is the key to kind of self-discovery.
So that's step one. And then
Step
two
one.
is how can you be curious towards yourself? Like instead of lashing out on everything, asking, why am I feeling this?
Yeah, because most of it honestly is internal. It's themselves, not. And I've learned that a lot because I deal with a lot of people that are emotional. Obviously, they're coming to me about something that bothers them. They have to be emotional.
Right.
And I've had people where I even had one today. I got an email. He thinks one side looks different than the other, and it's like so subtle. But everyone is not symmetric. Like you have to be okay with being not symmetric. But this person needs this like so fine tuned and everything. I'm like, wow, and he's kind of angry. And I'm like, that's not something that I would be angry about at all, because everyone's naturally asymmetric and the job was done well. It just needs a little bit more on the other side. If you really want to be that nitpicky, that person needs you, because they're
can't wait to help you.
I know. I mean, if you know who you are, I don't know if you will, but maybe it's a lot of my patients who, again, I don't mean this in a negative way. We have to be okay with not being perfect. And I think a lot of that has to do internally. It's not usually on me, but it took me a very long time to figure that out, because I always wanted to be the best at what I did and make everything perfect for somebody, but perfection doesn't exist. And then I realized, well, some people will always be unhappy unless they fix the inside. And so if they're journaling in step one, how are they advancing? How are they learning that this is internal or self-discovery?
So step one is usually awareness. And a lot of people, they actually have no clue when they start that they have all these things that are coming up. Seriously. So that's step one. And then the long-term goal is to ultimately find peace. There's no price tag on peace.
No.
If you have peace, like you don't need anything. And I think that's the end goal, to whatever you're doing, whoever you are, whatever business you're in, to have that inner peace.
Where did you learn all this?
Just tons of healing. I'm telling you, the sound baths really changed it for me. It was like an introspective journey. And the more I did it, it was peeling layers and understanding more about what made me angry through all the years that I lived, what made me sad, why it made me sad, and it just opened up this layer of curiosity.
I think that's great. I think that is really big. I think especially for an entrepreneur that's trying to build a reputation or a business, you need to really be secure and confident and be able to give to your clientele base a good level of customer service. And I think a lot of that, what you just said about being able to be understanding of emotion, I think is very important when it comes to taking care of a client, because they can lash out at you and you have to know how to respond, but you're taking people and you're really turning them around. So this transformation is physical and metaphysical. I think that needs to be your tagline.
Tagline right there.
Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. But so these people that you have in clients, so when they actually, how do you determine when they achieve their goals?
So this is the fun part with working with me, because there's no limits.
It's ongoing.
It's ongoing. So usually I have the 3-month commitment, a 6-month, and then a 12-month investment. And a lot of people start with the 3, but they just keep leveling up.
Good.
Because once they realize they have access to this energy and they completely change their minds, and their bodies just follows along the mindset, they just want more of it.
That's amazing. Yeah, one of the questions I was going to ask you was, throughout this time that you were starting to see success, did you have to let people go? Like, did you have to, people that you had met or befriended, did they change or not offer you what you needed for growth? So now you're at a different place. Did you notice any of that?
Yes. So I realized that I have a mission in this world, and that's why I came to LA, to bring this mission and just spread it out. And that's not for everyone, and that's okay. However, there were a lot of people that really did not understand that was it for me. And some people just really don't want to go with you, which back then I remember it was kind of sad, because I want to bring everyone with me. I'm like,
yeah, of course, because you're so giving.
Right. I'm like, this is going to be incredible. Let's go. Like, it's fantastic. But some people feel comfortable where they are, and, the unknown can be very scary.
Yeah, of course. And it's a lot of self-discovery. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of effort. There is sacrifices, I'm sure, that you've made. Can you think of any sacrifices that you've made to really get to this level of healing / success?
So going out, I kind of give that up.
Yeah, I don't do it at all either. I go to nice dinners.
I love nice.
That's my thing. I mean, it doesn't even have to be nice. I'll do a food truck. I find places. Like, I found this place. I still have to take him now. Alec says go there. I found this Mexican place off of Western in Hollywood that I go in there. First off, it has like skeletons on the wall outside.
Okay.
Right? It looks like Coco. It's like Coco. Yeah, it is. That's what it is. It's a picture of that.
Okay.
So I go there, and it's just like lights in a hut, and it has how do you say it?
Dia de los Muertos.
Dia de los Muertos. Okay, got it. So you can tell I'm from the Midwest and I'm Jewish. So with that said, I go in there.
That's why
I love that. I love it. It was very sexy too.
Thank you.
Quick and sexy. So we go in, I pull up there, and I go to the front, and I go to the woman. I said, "What's good here?" And she goes, "Everything, honey. We're the best." I said, "Give me everything." She goes, "No, I'm serious. Everything." I go, "No, I'm serious. I get everything. $260. I got one of everything."
Oh, for just $250?
Yeah, no, $260. Oh. I said, "Give me everything," because I wanted to support a local business.
Right.
I go there,
which we love. Keep supporting your local businesses in California.
Literally unbelievable. But you know why I went there? Because on Yelp, she had like 4.3 stars. But all the good ones were like, "Do not go to anywhere else. I've never had a place like this before." And I love the ones that actually aren't the highest rated, because usually it's not the food. It's something else, and the food's usually really good. And it looked really cool. So I go there, I was like, I couldn't believe it. Everything about this place, even so they have this ceviche that was in like a tomato, I don't know if it was a salsa or something. It was some sort of lime, but it was, and all shrimp and all these vegetables and stuff. So healthy. Like I asked her, "What's in this?" It was just like lime, vegetables, the shrimp, and a bunch of tomatoes and stuff. And it was so good. But this everything there was incredible. But it was you could tell this woman, it was heartfelt. You could tell it was family, like a family recipes. You could tell like they were putting everything, all their effort into this thing that they were trying to produce, which is what I see in you, you know?
Thank you. That's a huge compliment.
But
I'll take it.
that's what I mean. So
Yeah.
it's like these things are kind of shown to us everywhere. It's just how you actually visualize them. Sometimes you can't. So to me,
There's
it's
magic
like,
everywhere.
yeah, exactly. I know. I love that. It's another tagline for you. So that's why I think for me, it doesn't have to be super expensive. But I gave up, like you said, you gave up going to bars and drinking and stuff like that and worrying about that type of need for socialization. And my need was to go to these restaurants, find these places and just like support the local businesses because I love it. I need to eat anyways,
Right.
you know? So what else did you have to do? Excuse me. What else did you
So,
have to do?
so that one was a big one. And also, your network is your net worth.
100%. I'll tell you something about
Mic
that
drop.
in a minute too.
Mic drop. So I realized I knew that I was born for abundance and everything the world has to offer. So I realized that I had to surround myself with that.
Yeah.
For the level that I want to achieve things and how much I want to help people, I need to be surrounded by the right people so I can be at service at the right time.
Yeah. And the key for that too is you need to be around people that are always doing more than you, but are willing to throw your name in a crowd of people that are successful. Because what happens is people that aren't as successful as you or don't have the same entrepreneur mindset, they're going to keep your name from people. They're not wanting to see you succeed. They're not
Which
as
is so rude, everyone.
I know,
What is that about?
I know because collaboration is the key to building. And if the people that know that the most are the Kardashians. Even right now, they just bought a building on Sunset and the diner next door. And the diner next door was successful, but not as successful as is now. So it's always about that. Or Makeup by Mario, for example, who is one of the biggest brands, started with XKKW, right? So that's how it worked. And so you have to collaborate. Really, I think the future of success is people sharing each other's success. And if you're around people that are jealous of you or not wanting to see you succeed, and sometimes that can be hidden, you have to be very careful to figure out where that is. You won't be successful. So you need to be around the people that are successful and want you to be more successful. And one of the things I've always done is connected people and said this person's great and gotten them clients, and that usually will come back to you.
I'm all about the same way. And this is actually why I work with multiple brands as well. I work with this brand called Paleo Valley, which is healthy grass-fed, grass-finished whey protein.
Oh, nice.
I work with Organifi. And every time I collab with these companies, I'm thinking, how can I get the best products out there so my clients and followers can get discounts on this?
Right. Yeah, I love that.
And we help each other. They get more clients. I get my clients greater results by feeling well, because that's also a big thing. It's not just working out, but it's how you eat.
Yeah, and on that food
Makes you
really
feel
matters and how you feel.
Right.
And then what other sacrifices did you have to make? Any others?
Honestly, just comfortable with just being by myself. Sometimes
that's
it's better to be alone rather than people that don't inspire you or support you in the way that you have to be in this life.
Yeah, I think inspiration is very important, and that may be looking at what someone else has built and complimenting it and learning from it. It may also be looking at their dedication and how they work and at their ethic to be able to see, is that what you need to succeed in your business? Also, just how people treat others, care.
But if you think about it, and I feel like we have this in common, we're all about growth.
Yeah.
So when I have friends around me, I want us to grow together.
Yeah, it's great.
That's it.
I love that. I mean, I brought a lot of my friends along with me in terms of the growth, So if you had to give advice to somebody that was starting a business or just entrepreneurial in a journey, what would you tell them? What is the most important thing that they should think about as they're going through the process of starting something on their own?
Okay, that's a great question. So I would say find something that comes to you with so much ease that it's fun for you, that's your idea. Step one. Then step two, just think how you can have that idea and just help tons of people.
Yeah, I like that because your your
That's a recipe for success.
your reach is success. Now, some people it's number, some people it's financial, some people it's just loving what they do every day. But I think a key component to what you said to an entrepreneur is you want to wake up every day and want to go and do it. And Dana White, I don't know if you watch a lot of his stuff, but do you, Alec, or no? You just looked at me kind of strange.
Yeah.
He had this thing, this podcast thing the other day, and it was basically like he was swearing while he was saying this, but he's like, "You fucking people, like, if you get up every day and you dread putting on your clothes and you dread, you know, the blanket coming off of you, why are you doing it?" Literally, he's like, why? And that's the thing I don't get is so many people do stuff they don't love. Now, I can understand if it's the only way to get by, but you're doing it to get enough to the next step. I could get that, but so many people their whole lives do that. And what would you say to them?
So, step one is awareness. For instance, if you walk out the door feeling like you're lacking things already, guess what? Wherever you go out, you will attract that lack. So I think one is being mindful about your thoughts. And this is why journaling is so powerful. I don't think people realize how powerful it is.
Tell me. So tell me about journaling because I think this could be its own thing.
Yes.
Tell me what journaling does for you.
So when you put things down on paper, it literally makes you appreciate the little things that are on your mind. So let's say if you write down, okay, I'm grateful for having food, for having amazing friends, having love in my life, having healthy, whatever it is, it just brings your brain to that frequency. And especially if you do this in the morning before you look at your phone.
Because I was going to ask you this because I think I want to do this now with my fiance.
I'll send you my journal.
But what I want to do is I want to journal and then tell each other every day what we journaled.
Yeah.
So do you do bullet points? Do you do writing for a certain amount of time? What do you do?
So mine goes like this. It's 10 things I'm grateful for. I list that down. And then I send my 10 affirmations. And then I say priority of the day at the top, what I have to accomplish. And then at the end, I go my highlight of the day.
So that's the blueprint for journaling.
That's a really good
recipe. I like that. And what will people get out of that? And when will they see it?
You know, with everything, just like with the muscles and when you go to the gym, the brain is the same thing.
I agree.
The more you train your brain to look for a certain thing, it will automatically take you there. So for instance, have you heard about the theory about if you say, hey, I'll give you $10,000 if you find a red car today?
Your brain you're going to see 1,000 of them.
Right. So your brain will be automatically, by default, be looking for that. And it's the same thing. If you're focused on the blessings that you have right now,
you'll see it.
Train your brain to see that.
Like these hummingbirds.
They were so beautiful.
You get to see it because you may not even known that they were there, but you could see them because you hear them and you're focused on them. So you're saying if I write down every day things I appreciate or things I want to accomplish or things I care about because I'm with my fiance, let's say, things I care about him, either I hate or I love, let's say. Maybe we put the hate on there too, because then you can learn to either love them or get rid of them. And then I will recognize those things more and make conscious effort to appreciate or fix.
Think of this. It brings you to the present moment. And if you look around, you would probably notice that a lot of people are either stuck in the past or in the future. So they're either depressed or anxious. Flight or flight.
Yeah.
Instead of just stopping a moment and just be like, hey, wow, this planet is beautiful. The hummingbirds are great. Look at this beautiful city we live in.
So how do people stop this constant fight or flight?
Well, we're going to start with the sound bath.
I know, I was going to say, so the sound baths.
You guys have to come do a sound bath. Like, if you
how did they go and do a sound bath with you?
DM me at the Coach Axel and we'll get you sorted.
So but you know what I'll do? I'll put something on ours so that they can go to you for it. But maybe we'll host a couple.
You know, that could be a great idea. We could do like a monthly where we
we got to do it. We'll do it. I'll do it for my clientele.
From all over the world.
We could do lives. We could do it out here. We could do it out in the patio. That would be amazing.
And you know, a lot of people don't know how freeing this experience is.
Could you imagine the sound baths out here with the hummingbirds?
Oh my God, yes.
It's a dream. We could do a night one too. This is LED lights in here.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And I'm telling you, Jason, every time, like, people come out just being so grateful. They're like, they come out and they're just like, I have no
Yeah.
idea what just
I
happened.
think what I learned a lot from you today, because I definitely have fight or flight, not really anxiety, but I'm always on the go, type A, constantly moving. Put it this way, I have a lot of not really stress either. I like it, but it's fast moving energy. Let's
Hmm.
put it that way. You have to slow down for growth. That's what I've learned from you. So I think that's a unique thing for your blueprint, for example. And I think that might be what I would say you should give as advice if to entrepreneurs. That sometimes if you move too quickly, you'll miss out on either some of the good things that are happening or miss some of the things that you could have stopped that were negative to make you succeed, and then you'll learn it at some point. But if you had slowed down and taken it step by step, and I know that a lot of the people I look up to that own very successful businesses, they always say focus on one thing and be really good at it before you go on to the next thing, because so many people want to do a million things, you know. And I think for you, a lot of what I've seen, obviously we didn't even talk about the personal training part, but we know you do it, right? I think a lot of what we've talked about is your level of success in training the mind, and the mind playing a huge role in being successful in confidence and in your body.
Because the biggest thing is, if you're not confident, if you're not feeling good in your body, then what is the point of having a six pack or the biggest ass or whatever you want? You will never enjoy it.
I
So
agree.
for me, it's seeing that how you can enjoy that. Also, when it comes to grinding, my dad still has his own business, and I grew up looking at him just grinding, 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 and he was super successful, but he was never really able to enjoy it. And he
Yeah.
told me growing up, he was like, Axel, if there's something I could change, is spending more time with you guys. So for me, joining into this journey, I knew that there has to be some sort of balance, and I see with a lot of entrepreneurs too, and that's why I want to help them. Because what is the point if you have the Lambo, the castle, and everything, but you just can't be at peace?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think that's hard for a lot of people because they're always constantly on the go. That the anxiety, or not anxiety, but that the mental slowdown doesn't exist. It's just constantly going. I was up till 4 o'clock last night working on AI logos for a new brand.
Right.
I couldn't stop, but it was excitement. Actually, it was different. It's like when you watch that TV show and you just can't stop because every time right at the end they get you. So I'm like right about to go to sleep, and then all of a sudden the chat, the AI pop something in. I'm like, I didn't even think about that.
Uh-huh.
Oh shit. So then I go back, and then another 20 minutes, the next good thing, and then the logo came, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing.
I'm obsessed
Like
with
I
AI.
just
I
kept
get it.
going. So I don't think it was actually anxiety. It's just that it was excitement, because sometimes with excitement you can keep going and going and going. And I think that is, though, something to learn, that it's great to be excited, but if you do that all the time, if you do that too much, you'll wear yourself down.
It's like you said, how can you tap into that energy in a productive way
Yeah.
and that it's not harmful? Because that being able to be so creative and feeling that flow going through you, it's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's how you channel that
So
to your advantage.
do you feel like all your clients become significantly more successful?
It's life changing. What I do.
If you had to
I
say a client spotlight, like pick one or two, where have you had the biggest transformation in someone? What was their transformation? Could be
you
physical,
know
could be work. I'm just curious.
also individual. For instance, one client, he lost over 30 pounds,
It's great.
got really snatched, and he's 55, so age doesn't really
Much harder to
matter,
do. Yeah.
and all natural, which was incredible. Other people, just the level of their confidence has just been uplifted to a whole nother level that they never really thought they could.
And what did they do with that level of confidence? What changed? What else changed about them?
The entire life, literally how they interact with friends, what kind of relationships they have, the relationship they have with themselves. And it's like a domino effect, and everyone is noticing. Like, I remember I was talking to him a few weeks ago, and he was telling me, Axel, everyone is just complimenting me all the time.
And he loves it.
All the time. And they ask me, what's my secret sauce?
And you give them the name.
I got
Great.
you.
And then he gets a little discount. You get a little discount for referrals.
Of course.
I think that'd be great. So my question is, you said all natural. This is my last thing. So I do a lot of peptide therapies and stuff and supplements.
Right.
Do you think those things are considered non-natural? I'm just curious.
Well, I think when you stop stepping into steroids, then it becomes more
Yeah, like hormonal and things like that, bodybuilding.
because that disrupts your body's own production of the
It
hormones.
does.
I don't think peptides does.
They don't.
Right?
That's why I was asking, because
'Cause you-
to me, I actually scientifically don't feel they're unnatural, because you're actually making them already in your body. But in general, we're using those to stimulate more as we decline, as we get older, because as you get older, things in your body, your metabolism, things like that do change.
Right.
And the production of those natural enzymes and growth factors and things like that go down. So these help stimulate it. So I always tell people, to me, this is not an unnatural thing. This is an enhancement of your own body and a slowing down of the process that occurs with time.
That's a great way to put it. I think, I always recommend my clients to try with the diet, the workouts, then the stress management really comes in, because I've seen
That's huge.
cases that if you follow a plan with food and the diet and the work and everything, and you still are stressed, your body will still not get snatched.
And doesn't look as good, yeah.
No, it will not happen. So
You won't get the results and won't look as good.
this is why the mindset work is so important. But then if that even doesn't, or like you still need help, or maybe someone is going through an injury and they need faster healing with peptides, I think it's a great tool,
Yeah.
and we're so blessed that that's accessible to us now.
Yeah. Yeah, that's great. That's why I was saying I made that one supplement, because I wanted it does have one in there, a fatty acid that's called PEA, that works on nerves and neurotransmitters in the brain, not like an antidepressant or anything, but to feed them so that you produce more dopamine, you produce more serotonin naturally, and you get a more elated sensation, you get more focus, and it just enhances. So I feel like your mind work and sound bath work would literally
Take that to the next
Oh,
level.
yeah. I mean, I will tell you, when we were doing clinical trials, I haven't produced this product yet. I mean, we have it, but I haven't launched it yet.
Very exciting.
But
Congrats.
one of the launches of this new product that we have, it's a nighttime supplement to help your hair, nails, and your brain sort of sleep, was Vivid Dreams. And
Interesting.
actually almost every person had this. Actually, my fiance woke up crying from such a beautiful dream. He remembered like something about his mother that he did with his mother, and he was crying of love.
Wow.
He said he doesn't remember exactly what it was, but it was so, I'm like, oh my God, like this supplement needs to be at the sound baths. Because you imagine you already have these people coming out with their emotions. I couldn't imagine what would come out with this supplement in the sound bath.
This sounds out of this world.
Sound bath enhancement. Wow. It's like the natural version of ayahuasca or something.
And it's really interesting because I already have like an edgy twist to it, because I throw in hypnotic techniques. I have a certificate in the foundations of hypnosis. So I've seen how that also impacts the experience. So this could be like...
Yeah, we need to try the Vitascope right now, because it has a component of it that people have reported that as well, having very deep, memorable sleeping. I don't consider that a side effect. I actually consider it an effect of the medication, because it's a supplement that does enhance the brain's activity. And remember, we only use a very small percentage of our brain. And so, in hypnosis, you go to other sectors, and like in supplements can sometimes enhance it. So right. The last thing I wanted to ask was,
Oh yeah, this went by so fast.
I know. We'll do more. We're going to do more for sure.
I feel like we need a part 2.
We will. We're going to do a part 2 for sure. We have a couple parts I want to do. So I have a question. So for your day-to-day, your clients or yourself, is there a non-negotiable for you to have this vibrant energy, this, sort of self, I don't know, the energy and the passion and the discipline you have? Is there a non-negotiable for you daily so that you can continue it? Because otherwise, if you don't follow this discipline, you could fall off. So your clients, what are like non-negotiables you give them?
Non-negotiables.
Yeah, like have you ever had to fire a client? Or like do they not, if they don't listen to what you're saying and follow it, is that a non-negotiable? Like you just like literally, if you don't do this, you can't be my client. Like what are the non-negotiables that make you successful and sort of make your client successful so that they don't fall off?
So one of the biggest things that I've learned through my experience in now 12 since 2011 in this industry is listening to the bodies. And I have met multiple clients that they just want to do workout every single day. And that's a recipe for disaster.
Yeah, it's too much stress.
Literally a disaster.
Injury, inflammation.
So bad. And some people think, and this is where the doership comes in, you don't have to do that much to get results. I have even got clients who work out 4 times a week or 5, and that's it. You don't need to be literally a slave at the gym. You don't need to live there. So when people don't listen to that, I'm like, then you can't be a part of this.
Yeah, so a non-negotiable is they need to listen to their body. And also then that's more of that self-reflection that you're prescribing them to do. You know, they need to be so part of, I think the non-negotiable then for you would be they need to also learn about their mental health.
Yeah.
At the same time as their physical.
And this is why I also moved from being in person to online, because I realized when I have a blueprint, I can even track their sleep with the Aura rings. I see everything. I see what they eat. I see what they work out. I see how they sleep. We have our check-ins. There's no room to fail. No, literally there's none.
He's got his eyes on you. I'm telling you right now, his eyes and his brain. Yes. It's a lot, his aura. So, all right, well, tell everybody again.
Lastly.
Oh, go.
My non-negotiable personally for me.
Yeah, I'm going to hear it.
And I recommend this for everyone. Before you wake up, or when you wake up, before you do anything, just lay on your bed. I learned this from my mentors. Put your hands on the top of your heart and count to 10. And every time you count, say something that you're grateful for.
It's great. I love that.
It really changed everything for how you start your day. That's it. No phones, no emails. Just have a moment. Just talk to yourself. What are you
grateful for? And what do you think people will experience when they start doing that?
Some people feel funny. Some people are like, I don't know what to say. But this is where the curiosity comes in. There's so many things to be grateful for.
Yeah.
So it's how can you train your brain to spot it?
It's great. Okay.
Will change your life.
It will change your life, you guys. Start saying what you're grateful for, because you will start to see things totally different, because you're going to perceive so much more when you actually start self-reflecting.
Also, don't be ungrateful. That's rude.
Yeah, I agree. No more. We need to stop the lawsuits, the negativity, the bad comments on Instagram. The thumbs down should not exist on Instagram, because that's all promoting this ungratefulness of society. You know,
we don't want that.
What we should have on Instagram, honestly, is if there's a thumbs up, you can donate money to a charity or something like that. Like you should be able to, every time you think someone did something good, do something good as well.
Right.
That would be nice. I don't know if we'll ever get that, but I think it would be amazing. So, all right, you guys, our transformational coach, tell them how to find you.
The Coach Axel on Instagram. Feel free to DM me if you have any questions. I would love to help you and how we can transform you.
In your mind and your body, you guys. Take care. That's the Grind Blueprint.
Bye.